Let's say we sell kitchen appliances. Before we can take these appliances to market, they have to be tested. Each product needs to be tested at one of 3 approved labs. So we can see here in column A, we have all our products listed. Now, there's about 100 different products on this list. And then you have the 3 labs at the top. So what we have to do is, they've given us their pricing. We have it listed down here. We need to find the cheapest price minus 15%, because the lab that is going to choose us, the lab that we're going with already told us they're going to give us a 15% discount. So we see here that for product number 1, in the US, it's $60 at lab 1. At lab 2, it's the same price for $60. At lab 3, it's cheaper at $30. Once we find the cheapest across the 3 labs, we have to take away 15%. And so you can easily do this math in your head, right? You can look at these 3. You can look at these 3 at each lab and say, well, the cheapest lab for product number 1 is going to be lab number 3 for $30. And then you're going to take away 15%. You can do the math. 30 times 0.15 and deduct that number from 30, you get your answer. But we have a list of about 100 different products on this list, right? So we don't want to have to do that 100 different times, which is really going to be 200, because we have to do the same thing for the international price in the UK. So what we're going to do is we're going to find a formula that'll do the work for us, right? Make our workday easier. So we're going to use the min function. The min function is going to give us the lowest number in whatever cell we designate. So we have 3 different cells to choose from. We're going to use that function to give us the minimum. Okay, so you have the min function here, and when we put in min, it tells us it's going to return the smallest number in a set of values. So we have to find the minimum of. Whenever I say of, I know that I'm going to do an open parentheses because I have to give it the choices. So minimum of cell C5, that's the first option at lab 1. Cell F5, which is the second option, lab 3. And make sure that you're putting the comma after each one of those to let it know that it's going to be a different cell. And then lab 3 is going to be J5. And if we just take that there and press enter, it will give us the number that we were looking for. The minimum of these 3. We knew that it was 30, right? But we're not done because we have to minus the 15%. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to times it by the percentage that we're going to deduct. But we're not going to times it by 0.15. I don't know the fancy math. I'm really good at formula, guys, but explaining the math out loud is kind of difficult for me. We're not going to times it by the 0.15%. We're going to times it by the other side of that, which is going to be 85. So we're going to take this function, which is up here. We're going to make sure that we times it by 85%. It's going to be times 0.85. Okay, now that's the percentage. That's the percentage now in decimal form. Okay, so we have to make sure we times this entire thing by 85%. So we're going to go back and we're going to put parentheses around this whole thing. And you already know that your formula has to be balanced in Excel. So you have to have the same number of open parentheses as you have closed parentheses. And then we're going to use that and press enter. And so if you did a quick calculation in your calculator, this is the answer that you would have gotten. Because 15% of 30 is $4. And then you deduct $4 from 30 and you get 26. Then you take that and you drag it all the way down. And it's done the work for you across the board. Isn't that great? We do the same thing in the UK. So we do the same thing in the UK. So I'm making kind of rookie mistakes here. Let's delete all this crap out of here. And the video is about to end. There we go.